Justin Schollard back with another edition of your movement education series. Today we're talking about the overhead press. We're going to talk about two movements in particular, the strict press and the push press. Now there's other things we can do with overhead like the push jerk, split jerk, and we're going to talk about those in a later video, but for today I want to just focus on some basics. So let me get the PVC pipe as opposed to using a barbell because that might make me a little tired over time and I don't want to get all breathy while I'm trying to get this video to you. So first thing we want to do with the overhead press, the strict press, is of course brace, right? Brace those abs, brace your glutes. So big deep breath in, flex, flex. So you're going to unrack it, right? It might be racked up on the squat rack. You're going to unrack it. You're going to brace. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs, and now you're ready to press the weight overhead. So with your abs tight, you're going to keep your joints stacked, right? What I mean by that is you're going to keep your elbow under your wrist. What you're not going to do is let your elbow drift behind your wrist. You understand? Because at that point, you're just kind of relying on the strength of this muscle here to hold that weight up, almost like a reverse bicep curl, as opposed to just keeping the weight stacked over the joint. So we're going to unrack it. We're right here. We're braced. Now we're going to tuck our chin. Get that chin out of the way. You don't want to hit your chin with the barbell. I've seen it happen. Get that chin out of the way. Press the weight to the back of your head. Now what do I mean by the back of your head? Well, if I press to the back of my head, that means that the weight is perfectly aligned with my spine and perfectly aligned in my center of mass. If I were to just drop that PVC pipe down, you can see that it's all lined up nice and straight, right? So I want to press that weight to the back of my head as opposed to in front of my head, because then what happens when I do this? My natural tendency is going to want to overarch, and that's a big no-no. We don't want to overarch for obvious reasons. So we want to keep the weight to the back of our head. Getting that chin out of the way, keeping our stomach braced and our glutes braced. Okay, so that is the strict press. Now let's talk about the push press. So the push press, same exact setup. All we're doing differently is we're just going to dip the knees and press the weight to the back of the head, right? Dip those knees and we're going to press. The reason we dip the knees and pop out of the hole is it just gives our shoulders a little help to get that heavy weight out of the bottom and the most difficult part of that movement up, right? So I dip, pop, and it just helps me get that weight out of the hole, so to speak, right? So that means you can lift heavier weight than you could with a strict press, or the same amount of weight for more repetitions, which of course, this is high intensity training, so always looking for ways to dial the intensity up as long as you're doing the proper movements. So to refresh, we got a strict press, brace, abs tight, glutes tight. And we got a push press. We're just going to dip and press. Now what I didn't mention is we're going to dip and press. We're not going to lean forward and press, right? We don't want to lean forward because now look at the weight. We're back to this issue again where we're just kind of using the strength of our forearms to hold the weight up. We don't want to do that. We want to have good movement mechanics. We're just going to dip, dip, and there you have it, guys. Strict press, push press. Stay tuned for tomorrow, another version, another episode, another edition of your educational series. I'm Justin Schollard. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. Hey, what's up, tribe? Justin Schollard. I'm back. So today, we're going to talk about deadlifting. Now, deadlifts are my favorite exercise. I would argue they're the most functional of all the functional exercises because there's one thing that we do every single day of our life that we can't avoid is we got to pick shit off the ground, right? We just got to pick shit up. So we have to learn how to do it correctly. There's a lot of fear and miscommunication around the deadlift, but actually it's a very safe movement. We just got to know how to do it correctly. So what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today is how to pick things up properly. So again, I'm going to use a PVC pipe. This could be a kettlebell, it could be a barbell, it could be a dog. There's a dog right here. I don't know if you can see him right now in the video. It could be a bag of groceries. It doesn't matter what you're picking up, you're still deadlifting, right? So let's learn how to do it correctly. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to start by just learning how to properly hinge at the waist. So if I stand up nice and tall, In this case, the weight's in my hands, but it could very easily just be on the floor, and I could be leaning over to pick it up. I'm going to start by pushing my butt back. I'm going to let my knees bend a little bit, keep my knees soft, shoulders back, abs tight. Of course, I've braced, right? Inhale, squeeze your abs, squeeze your glutes. Once I get the weight to about my knees is when I'm going to let my knees bend. I'm going to drop, I'm going to sit down a little bit in it, and I'm going to drop my hips, okay? So, see if I can back up a little bit and give you guys a little bit more of a view here. So we got hips back, leaning over at the waist. Once I hit the top of my knees, I'm going to drop my hips down until I reach the barbell. And in this case, I'm about mid-shin, right? So that's how I want to see it, guys. So I'm going to knock out a few reps for you right now. Notice how I'm holding my breath on the way up and then releasing it as I get to the top. You want to keep that air in your torso. You want to keep that tension and get all the slack out of your midline by keeping your lungs full. And that just helps support your spine, helps support your midline as you're getting out of the hardest part of the lift. Once you get to the top, go ahead and exhale. So there you have it, guys. Super important lift. Very similar to the squat in the sense that it's a heavy hip movement. And just like the squat, I want to make sure that your knees are to the outside of your feet. So don't let your knees buckle in on this one either, right? We want to keep our knees open as we drive up. Shoulders back, brace those abs, squeeze your glutes. Hinge over at the waist with a flat back, guys. I can't express that enough. Flat back. Be aware if you're doing this. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't even aware that they're doing that. So make sure you're holding yourself to a high standard. Put a camera up, film yourself doing it. I want this part flat. And if you're not there yet, then you got to come to our mobility class because we got to clean up some mobility issues in your hips and your lower back. All right, guys, so there's deadlifting 101 for you. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I am Justin Scollard, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin Scollard, I'm back. So today we're going to talk about two movements. Very similar, the bench press and the push-up. Essentially, it's the same move. One, I'm lying flat in my back, pushing weight away from me. The other one, I'm going to be on the ground, pushing myself away from the ground. The push-up is a little bit more complex in the sense that you have to use more core stability to make sure that you're not engaging in movement errors. Bench press is a little bit more straightforward, a little more simple. Since you're laying flat in your back, there's less likely going to cause you to lose your midline stability. But we're going to go over both today. Let's start with the bench press first. So first thing you want to do, guys, this is a big mistake I see, is people get right under it like that, so the bar is kind of like level with their chest. And the problem is that when you're doing your presses now, chances are you're going to catch that, and you're always going to tend to catch it at the end of a really hard set, and it just throws you off, and it sucks. So what I want you guys to do, unless you're a power lifter and you're really experienced and you know what you're doing, what I think you guys should do instead is I usually do about a thumb's length from the knurling line right here, so there's like grip here. I do a thumb's length from there and unrack the weight. I keep the weight right above my forehead, right? Not above my chest. When I lay down to bench, I have the bar right above my forehead, okay? Thumb's length from the knurling. I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades back right here. I'm gonna unrack the weight, and I'm gonna set. This is my set position, okay? In other words, what I don't do is I don't just go right into it, right? No. I wanna set, shoulders back, squeeze my glutes, do my best version of a brace sequence here. Inhale, unrack the weight, and now I'm gonna engage my lats. So look, this is me without my lats engaged, and now look what happens when I engage my lats. You see how that works? See how it kind of just pops my chest up, gets my pecs firing, my lats stabilize my shoulders from the opposite side of my body, and now I can just go ahead and lower that weight down below my nipple line and push it back up again, right? There you have it, guys. So like I said, unless you're a power lifter, professional bodybuilder, or just you know what you're doing and you have your own twist to things, that is how I recommend you guys do the bench press. Now let's go into the push-ups. So very similar in a lot of ways, guys. What I want you to do here, we're going to get in our bracing sequence. Let me make sure that I'm in frame here. We're going to get into our bracing sequence. I want your elbows forward, elbow pits forward, hands under your shoulders. Hands should not be out here, right? We're not doing push-ups like this. Hands under your shoulders, shoulders back, abs tight. Lower your whole body down together as one. You'll notice I had my elbows coming to the side of my body. They're not flared out. This is bad. Your joints impinged. You're overloading your front delt. It clearly indicates to me that you're just not strong enough to handle a real push-up yet, so we need to modify either knee push-ups or bench push-ups. But what I want you guys to do is keep your shoulders down and back, elbows to your side. Keep your body aligned. Don't let your head sag. Don't let your hips sag. Keep your chin tucked, abs tight, braced. Lower it down, drive it back up. If it's too difficult, then you practice on a bench, doing an incline push-up, or we just do knee push-ups. So there you guys go. That is bench press, and that is the push-up. Thank you so much for watching. We're not done yet though, so stay tuned for tomorrow as we continue this educational series. I hope you're enjoying it. My name is Justin Scholar, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin Scholar back with another... Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin Scholar here today to talk about the kettlebell swing, one of my all-time favorites. I don't even know why. I just really like this movement. I just find it to be very applicable, functional, practical. It helps teach us midline stability. It teaches us how to hinge at the waist properly. It's one of those, it can be strength training, it can be conditioning, it's kind of whatever you want it to be. So let's get into it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a kettlebell here. All right, so this is a 53-pound kettlebell, and first thing we got to do with the kettlebell swing is very similar in essence to the deadlift that we went over a couple days ago. So the kettlebell swing, first, I want you to remember that your hands are not doing the work. Your arms are not doing the work, right? Your shoulders are only there to support the weight. It's all hips and core. So I want you to grab it and just practice this. Tuck your chin. Get your brace on, inhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs. Notice that I'm doing my best to keep from the top of my head to my hips completely straight. In other words, what I'm not doing is allowing myself to overarch, allowing movement faults in my cervical spine, thoracic, or lumbar spine to happen. I'm locking it all in. And how do we do that? We brace. We inhale, squeeze, squeeze. Now I'm braced. Now, as in this brace position, I can hinge over with this kettlebell in my hand, no problem. I'm just gonna keep my heels planted, I'm gonna pop my glutes, get that weight higher and higher till I get it to about eye level, okay? And this is a Russian kettlebell swing, okay? I put that down here so I don't get too out of breath. Now, what you notice I didn't do there is overextend my spine. I got myself to neutral, and then I allowed the contraction of my hips, the extension of my hips, I should say, to get that weight where it needs to be. I'm not overcompensating by arching my spine back to try to get that weight up, because that would be incorrect. What I want you to do is generate the force from your hip extension to propel that weight where we want it to be. Arms are just along the ride. They're holding. Your shoulders are retracted. And we're letting that weight swing up to about eye level for a Russian kettlebell swing. There is an American kettlebell swing. American kettlebell swing is where we just go all the way. You know, those Americans, they can't just settle for here, right? They want to take it a step further and go all the way with it. So there you guys go. We program a ton of those at Strength RX. They're so great. I mean, you can grab one of these guys for not too much money on Amazon, have it at home, and if you ever just want a quick workout, I mean, just knock out 100 kettlebell swings. Trains the whole body, stabilizes the shoulders, stabilizes the spine. It's a great ab workout. It's a great hip workout. Highly recommend it, one of my favorites. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Justin Schollard. There's still more videos coming your way, so check your inbox tomorrow for another episode, baby. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. What's up? We're back, baby. So we're gonna continue with barbell work, right? Yesterday was the clean, right? Today, we're gonna go into the jerk. Now I mentioned, I think in video 2, when we were doing our overhead press and our push presses, there's another overhead movement called the jerk. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today, guys. We're gonna be going over this Olympic lift called the jerk. And now, in the real Olympic lifting circles, it would just be the clean and jerk, because that's how you would measure it. Because Olympic lifting is essentially going from the ground, overhead, and there's 2 ways to do it. Clean and jerk, or the snatch. Snatch is tomorrow, guys, so stay tuned for that. But for today, it's all about the jerk. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get that barbell or the PVC pipe or whatever training tool you're using, which could simply just be a broomstick, right? And we're gonna get ourselves back in that front rack position. Okay, so now we're in a front rack position. We're gonna do a bracing sequence, which we know is inhale, squeeze those abs, squeeze your glutes. We're gonna dip the knees, pop, and we're gonna go into a push jerk to start with. There's a split jerk that we'll get to next, but for right now, guys, we're just gonna go over the push jerk. So push jerk just means I keep both my feet under me as I go. So we're gonna get in our front rack position. I want you to dip your knees. Now what I'm not doing, guys, we've gone over this a couple times now, I'm not leaning forward and then pushing, right? I'm dipping, I'm keeping my torso completely vertical in that front rack position. I don't want to lose my positioning and tilt forward and lose the barbell, right? If I got 200 pounds on here, I got to keep it right over my center of mass. I'm going to dip, I'm going to jump in the air, right? I want to see you jump, hop, let that barbell kind of float off of your shoulders as you jump in the air. Now once you've dipped, jumped, let that barbell float, now comes the tricky part. You got to drop back under it and catch it with your arms straight, okay? So again, it's dip, pop, drop under it, okay? Different angle, dip, torso straight, jump, drop under with your arms straight. Notice when I catch it, I'm catching it in like a quarter squat position, okay? So because you got to get yourself under the barbell. Once you've gotten this heavy barbell to this height, it's not the weight that's moving anymore, it's you, just like the clean. That's Olympic lifting, right? So I'm here, boom, and now I'm just dropping under it and catching with my arms straight. This is a push jerk. Okay, super important, you pop those hips all the way. Don't do this, right? We don't want to do that. We want to go and get under it, okay? That's a push jerk. Split jerk, very similar. We're just going to do the same exact movement. This time we're going to pick our dominant leg, stomp it out forward, okay? So we're going to go dip. Now a couple things here, guys. I'm keeping my knee right over my ankle. I'm not going so wide that I'm overextending my back. That's a big mistake I see. Keep your knee, keep this knee under your hip. Keep this knee over that ankle. Torso nice and strong and tight. Weight over the back of your head. Again. Right? Neutral spine. Knee under my hip. Knee over my ankle. Weight directly over my back. I'm not overextending, for Christ's sakes. Don't let me see you doing this. You are not allowed to overextend. I want to see nice and tight core. There you have it, guys. Your push jerk and your split jerk. All right, guys, we got one more video coming at you guys. Actually, 2 more. The snatch and the thruster, so stay tuned. Thank you for your patience. You guys are awesome. I will see you soon. I'm Justin Schollard, over and out. What's up, guys? Justin Schollard here. The last one, number 10. Here we go. We're talking about the thruster. Now, this one's actually pretty simple. We've already squatted. We've already done overhead pressing. So you already know these movements in their pieces, but the sum is always greater than its parts, right? So now we're just going to combine a front squat to an overhead press, right? AKA the thruster. This is one of those things that are so simple, So effective. I mean, you can tie this in with any kind of movement, burpees, pull-ups, box jumps, and it just will kick your ass for the rest of your life. It's always one of those wonderful, challenging movements that will never cease to amaze you. So we're going to get into a front rack position. Now the difference, of course, is that when we're doing our jerks, we had our elbows way up. When we were doing our push presses and our strict press, our elbows were down. So with the thruster, we're going to split the difference a little bit. And I'm also going to teach you guys how to do front squats simultaneously, because you have to be able to do a front squat while you're doing a thruster. So we're grabbing it here. We're going to go into like a half front rack. Not all the way, not all the way down, half, okay? So just like in video 2 when we went over squats, we're going to get our feet just under our shoulders, toes pointed out slightly. Tuck that chin, baby. Bracing sequence, abs, glutes, chest full of air. Now, with our elbows in a half front rack position, I'm going to push my butt back first. Hips go back first. Once I engage my hips, I'm going to drop my butt down. Come out of there, boom, press. Let me get a little better view for you guys, make sure I'm totally in frame here. So elbows here, we're going to drop into a front squat. Now you notice a couple of things happening here. What do I do when I get out of that front squat? I make sure my abs are tight, because what I don't want you to do is, so easy to do coming out of the thruster, but look what's happening to my back, guys. I'm killing it, I'm killing my back. Don't do that. Come out of that movement, glutes tight, abs tight, keep your chest down, and then just press the weight, just like you would with a strict press or a push press. We don't want to extend, stay neutral. So, different angle for you guys here. There you have it, guys, the thruster. Front squat to overhead press, always braced, pushing the weight to the back of my head. And there you go. You can do it dumbbells. You just hold 2 dumbbells here. Same thing. 1 dumbbell, great unilateral movement, really gets the core engaged. So there you have it, guys. That was your 10-part educational series on some of the main lifts that we do here. CrossFit in general, Strength RX in particular. I really hope that you got a lot out of this. I appreciate you taking the time to educate yourself and to be striving to be better. If you're not already a member here, I encourage you to come on in, give it a shot. We have a free introductory session. Most of them will be with me. We sit down. I want to know where you're at. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know how I can help you. I want to know what you've been doing so far. I want to know what your idea of CrossFit is or what we do here, and see if we can't come to a nice trajectory and roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be, using our facility as a vehicle to deliver those results to you, because I'm confident we can. All right, guys, thank you so much again. Justin Scollard, I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. All right, guys, what's going on? Justin Scollard here. So we're going to go over the snatch today. We've talked about the clean, we've talked about the jerk, the trifecta of Olympic lifts now, the snatch. So this one's a little more complicated. Like I said before, don't get upset if you don't understand it right away, if you don't get it right away. They're complicated movements that people spend a lifetime perfecting. It is an Olympic sport after all. Not to say that we can't start and we can't do as good as we possibly can. So first thing we're going to do, we want to grab the bar wide, right? So the clean, we were right here. The jerk, we were about the same distance with our hands. The snatch, though, we're going to be nice and wide with it. So what we're going to do, just like with the clean progression, we start in that high hang position. We're just going to jump and shrug, right? Jump, shrug. Notice that I'm not leaning forward. I'm just dipping and shrugging. Core to extremity. Same movement pattern as we did with the cleans. My arms are not allowed to bend until my hips extend. Same principles, different movement. Okay, so I'm going to dip, pop, dip, pop. Now I'm going to go ahead and just go into a high hang snatch, show you what that looks like. So in a high hang position, we're going to dip, jump, pull the weight up, then drop under it. Remember, just like the clean, just like the jerk, Once the weight gets to a certain point, the weight doesn't move anymore. You move around the weight. You drop under the weight. So dip, pull, drop under it. You want to keep it as nice and tight to your body as you can, right in line with that center of mass. So that's a high hang. Now let's go into a hang position. So I'm going to go down to the top of my knees, shoulders back, knuckles down. My chest is over the bar, right? I'm not too vertical. I'm not worried about being too vertical here. I want to go ahead and get right over top of that bar. I'm going to pull the bar up my thighs, pull it up my thighs, and then pop, drop under it, right? Pull it up my thighs, pop my hips, pull my elbows up, snap that weight over top of my head. So I'm going to do a couple in real time for you. Hang position. Okay, so that's high hang, hang. Now let's go into the full power snatch. Like I said, there's a squat version of it as well, but for today we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to do the power versions of this movement. So power snatch. I'm going to drop down. This is where I lean over at the waist and be picking the bar off the ground, right? If the barbell was on the ground, weights around it, you'd walk up to it, drop into it just like so. I'm going to pull it up, lift it off the ground, keeping it tight to my shins. I'm not out here. I'm right up on it, right? Keeping it tight to my shins, passing my knee, pulling my shorts up because it's so tight to my thighs, popping my hips forward, bending my arms up, flicking the weight overhead, pushing my butt back, and standing up. That's a snatch, okay? So I'm going to do it in real time for you guys. Here we go. Change the angle for you. All right, guys. So there you have it. We got our hang position. We got our high hang position. We got our hang position and our full power snatch position, okay? Practice it. Rewatch this video. There's a ton of videos on YouTube with people that are a lot smarter than me breaking it down for you as well. Educate yourself. Spend a little bit of time. It'll only make your time here that much more effective. The better you can come at these workouts prepared, okay? I'm Justin Scholar. Thank you so much, guys. One more video tomorrow. That'll conclude this 10-part educational series brought to you from us here at Strength RX, because we so appreciate you taking the time to watch this I respect the fact that you want to get better at these movements. So stay tuned for tomorrow, guys. I'm Justin Scholar. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm back, Justin Scholar. Today, the clean. Now, when you think of CrossFit, you think of guys and girls doing cleans, right? So let's talk about that movement today. We program a lot of them in here. If you become a member of the gym, maybe you already are a member of the gym and you're just watching this to become even better, which I appreciate. It's one of those movements that people get frustrated with it because it's complicated, it's tricky. But you got to remember, this is an Olympic sport. People spend a lifetime learning how to do this properly, so don't beat yourself up if after a week of fundamentals and 10 minutes of YouTube videos, you don't have it yet. It's a practice. I mean, I've been doing cleans for 12 years and I'm still learning. So I'm going to show you guys just the power clean today. Just the mechanics are what's important. You can take it into a squat clean as your proficiency in the movement increases. But for today, let's just go over the power clean. So there's 3 steps to this power clean. There's the high hang, there's the hang, and then there's the power, right? So power basically just implies that you're not squatting it. So if we were to say squat clean or just call it a regular clean, that would mean we want you to actually squat all the way when you catch it. And what you'll find is that as the weight gets heavy enough, you really don't have a choice. You're going to squat it to a degree. But power clean is an easy way to just learn how to do the movement. So let's start with the high hang clean. High hang is just meaning that this is the top position of the movement. We're going to start here. If you recall a few videos ago, we were doing the push presses, and I told you I just want you to dip your knees and press and don't lean. Same rules apply for this. I want you to just dip your knees, jump, and shrug, but don't lean forward. Not yet. We're going to get to there. We're going to get there in a second. But right now, I just want you to dip, pop, and shrug. This is a high hang position, high hang power clean. So we're gonna dip, shrug. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm gonna dip, shrug, pull. The most important thing here is that you don't pull too soon. A little thing I like to say is your arms don't bend until your hips extend, right? So in other words, I don't want to see this, right? Right now I want to see hips first, then arms. Hips, then arms. So it's going to look. Because what we're trying to do, guys, is try to capitalize on the momentum that we're generating from our hips extending to bring us into that heavy clean and catch it in the right position. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to drop it in. I'm going to go ahead and do all the way. We're going to dip, pop, and bring that weight up. Now what I'm doing is I'm dipping, popping, pull, and then once I get the bar this high, it's not the bar moving anymore, it's me, and I got to get under it and receive it in that front rack position. Front rack position, elbows up. You cannot catch it with your elbows back like this. As soon as you start loading up a barbell and get some serious weight on there, it's just not going to work. You're going to drop the weight. You're going to get your joints in a funky position. You have to start mobilizing yourself, conditioning yourself, getting yourself ready to receive that weight in a front rack position. Both elbows straight forward. All right? So let's keep going with that high hang position. We're just going to dip. I'm going to pop, pull, flip, okay? Notice that I didn't do this, right? I really extended my hips all the way. Okay, so that's a high hang. Now we're going to go to the hang position. Hang position, top of the knee. This is your hang position, okay? What do I do from here? Well, I lift my torso up and I pull that weight to the back to the high hang position, but I'm going to do it kind of snappy. I'm going to go all one motion, and I'm going to bring it right back up to that front rack position. So, right, high hang position, pull it up to the hang position, pull it up to the high hang, pop my hips, pull my arms, flip my elbows, receive it in that front rack position, and then stand up. So like I said, guys, once the weight gets here, you're not pulling anymore. Now you have to get your body under the weight. So here we go, hang position. I'm literally jumping in the air, right? I'm literally just here, jumping with my arms straight because my arms don't bend until my hips extend, dropping under it and catching in that front rack position. Okay, so that's the high hang. This is the hang. Now we're going to go into just a regular power clean, okay? Red's here. Red's going to help us out. He likes to do power cleans too. How much can you clean now, Red? I don't speak dog. All right, guys, so power. Hey, buddy, I need you to let me do my thing. All right, so here we go. We're going to go below the knee, or if the barbell is already on the ground, you would just lean over at the waist to grab it, right? So I'm walking up to the barbell. I'm mid-shin. This is the biggest mistake I see, guys, right here. You ready for it? Besides letting your dog in the gym while you're trying to record videos. But the second biggest mistake, is people just jump straight from the ground all the way in it, right? There are steps we must follow, and that is not one of them. So watch out, bud. So we're here. We're going to pull it above the knee, okay? You can't just rip it off the ground and go into the movement. You have to pull it above the knee. Get it to that hang position. From there, we pull it back up to our high hang position. After our high hang, we extend our hips. We leave the ground, pull that weight up, flip back under, and receive it in that front rack position. Steps we must follow, right? So in other words, in real time, okay? Slow pull above the knee. Slow and steady pull above the knee. Once you get it past the knee, you're still tight to your body. You're not letting the bar fly away from you. You're keeping it tight to the body. I want to see that bar pulling your shorts up. It's so tight to your thighs. Once you get to mid-thigh now, we impregnate the bar. We're going to jump, pop our pelvis into the bar, pull the weight up, drop under it, and receive it in that front rack position. All right, guys, I know it's a lot. You're gonna get there. It just takes time like anything else. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. And this is a very athletic movement that translates into a lot of things that we do, especially here in the gym. It's just teaching us control, athleticism, explosiveness, all those nice key tenets of fitness. So there you go, guys. A couple more videos coming at you. So don't fall off just yet, guys. Stay with me. Check your inbox for tomorrow as we continue this educational series. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Justin Scholar, and I'll see you soon.